Probably. What was he getting it in at this point in his career? So if it brings him back into disc golf and gets him visible to people who play disc golf and don't know who Ken Climo is, then I think it's great.
But the question is, really, do we need more discs? Are people going to buy his discs? I mean, what I want to think about are the people consuming discs now, the ones that are. It's hard. It's hard not to do sometimes. All right, the people consuming discs. Hey, are they the older generation? No, they throw what they throw. They're happy with something baseline. It's the younger generation that buys the stuff and they don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go over. I'm sure that if the right people get their hands on his discs, then it might go well for Ken Climo.
I'm sure he would like that.
Yeah, who wouldn't want people's
like
hands on your discs?
Yeah, anytime people handle his discs, he's going to love it. Hello, everyone. Welcome in to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production. I'm your host, Lucas Deal, and we're rocking episode number 43. Thanks for being here. In this episode, we're going to finally be able to talk about disc golf being played in some tournaments. We're going to look at some upcoming tournaments as well, new sponsors, and some sponsor departures. And of course, we got to talk about speculation for a number of people, including Ricky Wysocki and Ken Climo. Lastly, should disc manufacturers sponsor players, or is it just not valuable anymore? We'll answer that question and a whole lot more here in this episode, so stay strapped in. And remember, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. All you got to do is search for the words Win Dummies, and if you have not, please subscribe to the Disc and Deals Coverage YouTube channel. This is where you can catch all of the latest podcasts, so ring that bell for notifications so you never miss a single one. But without further ado, let's bring in the real star of the show, the one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty. Smitty, what up, homie?
Going on, man. I'm excited. We got disc golf to talk about, and it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, dude, it has been a while since we've had the opportunity to actually talk about some tournaments, and it's getting to that point where we're going to start seeing a lot more tournaments being played, and we're going to be able to really, really dive in deep with some of these.
Yes, sir. Yep, and I already watched a full disc golf tournament.
Yeah, me too. I was right there with you. So let's start where we always start. What's popping? What's been happening around the world of disc golf? We are wasting no time this week because we are excited to talk disc golf. And you know what? Here it is. The very first ever Go Throw tournament on the tour for the Go Throw Tour. And it was beautiful there in New Zealand. Fantastic coverage. The thing that wasn't fantastic, though, was that wind. Talk about brutal, Smitty. Let's talk about this tournament a little bit.
Yeah, I thought the coverage was great. I liked a lot of the graphics packages that Go Throw had changed to. That's some nice looking stuff. That mountain in the background was just epic and awesome. But yeah, the wind ended up winning out, I would say. If you watched the last round was nearly unplayable for people.
Yeah, it looked like zero fun.
Yeah. Man, I've played in super windy conditions I played in Hayes, Kansas, and I bet it was windier than that at Hayes one year at the Frontier Open. I remember Coda Hatfield putted from 6 feet, blew it out, landed on the ground, and there's nothing to stop the disc. That thing rolled out so far, probably 150 feet.
My God. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. But let's talk about some of the players that we got to see in action. We got to see Goose. We got to see Ezra Robinson throw his very first round on coverage with his new sponsor, Discraft. We got to see Luke Humphreys. We got to see Robert Burridge, who doesn't have an official sponsor yet. But Smitty, I think we all know where he's going based off what he threw. So we'll talk a little bit about him. We also got to see Aiden Scott, Evan Swanson, Eli Swanson, a name I hadn't heard of. He played pretty dang well too. Anyone in particular stick out to you here in this tournament, Smitty?
We also got to see Braden Sides. That guy's
Braden Sides looked super sick,
really
and we
good.
got a little bit of Chandler Fry too.
Yeah, just a sprinkling of
just
Chandler.
enough to show his worst shot probably of the tournament.
Yes, I would say that of these people on the slide, I thought Goose looked fantastic off the tee. He was flat smashing, but same old, get in by the putting green, and he had some serious struggles, and I hope he can figure it out at some point.
There were some really bad struggles, Smitty. I mean, there was a 5-putt. I mean, we don't see that a lot of times out of the MPO field.
Yeah. And Ezra, for being fresh into that bag, you could tell he was having some issues figuring out what was going to do what and when to use what. And most of the mistakes he made the entire weekend were, number one, on the putting green. He did not putt as well as he normally has in the past, and that's probably just trust in his disc. Although that putter he's using, the Sonar, is basically a PA3 or whatever he played with before. And off the tee, he was just torn and didn't trust him, wouldn't turn him enough, turned him too much. And when it's windy like that, man, if you don't commit to your shot, you're going to pay the price. And he paid the price with a lot of OB shots left, I felt like.
Yeah, did you see at one point he pulled out a Sharpie and was writing what the disc was doing onto the disc? I thought that was hilarious.
Flippy, he wrote Flippy on it.
Yeah.
Bob Burridge, I did not know that guy had that nasty sidearm. He was
that forehand was so good. It looked so crisp, man. And in general, it looked awesome, but his approaches with that harp, oh my God, Smitty, they were just clean.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not working something out with Trilogy, House of Disc, formerly known as Trilogy, because everything he threw was, as far as I could tell, was either a dynamic disc or West Side Latitude disc. I didn't see, and they didn't talk about any other discs. So I don't know if he's in negotiations with them or not. I don't know if he even cares. Maybe these are things. Well, he was Innova before he was Lone Star, so I wouldn't think he'd have a stockpile of discs. And that Enforcer was an Orbit Enforcer, so that's since he would have played with it. So I don't know, man. Maybe he just tried him and liked him.
Yeah, so, I mean, but that Enforcer, he was slinging that thing around and making it look really good. Mm-hmm. I guess before we talk any more about this, I guess for those of people that have not seen it, definitely go watch it. But let's talk about how this ended, because it was pretty fun, right?
So yeah, it was a pretty epic battle. These two, well, not these two, but Bob and Luke pretty much led the thing from the get-go.
Yeah,
Luke shot 7 down, was 2 ahead of Robert, and second round they were both knotted up at 10 down, and Ezra was 6 back. Third round, when the wind really kicked in, Ezra was the only dude in the men's field to shoot under par. And he shot 4 down and caught up with Robert, and they went into a playoff. And
well, did Chandler not also shoot 3 down?
Chandler did not make the playoff. Oh yeah, Chandler did shoot 3 down. And he tossed it away on that last hole.
He did.
So, but yeah, did you like the playoff hole?
No, I didn't like the playoff hole. I guess when I say exciting, it was exciting that you had a playoff in, our very first coverage in a long time. And not only was it a playoff, but it was someone from the chase card in the playoff. And I think that's always an exciting bit. But the playoff hole was stupid. What'd you think of that hole?
if you paid attention to the coverage, they went 0 for 4 making that green.
Yep. Yeah, 0 for 4.
And then 3 of the 4 putted out of bounds as well.
God, and then they had the train coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bob was the only one that didn't put OB. And think how big that was. He put that OB, he loses by stroke, but everything else plays out well. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of I like island holes. I think they're fun. I think they're exciting. But I don't really like an island hole to be the first hole of a playoff.
It sucked mostly because of the wind. I think if it would have been a calmer day, it could have played more exciting. But with that wind, it just made everything dumb.
Yeah.
That last round really dumb. Well, congratulations, though, to the victor of the tournament, Mr. Robert Burridge. He took it down in the playoff, and Ezra was right there with his very first round with Discraft. Once he gets those dialed, I can't wait to see.
It's a little women's coverage.
Oh, yeah. There
I
was
that on there.
Apparently, that's going to be coming out later. I don't think it's been released yet.
Yeah, I looked. It's not out yet, but yeah, they were alluding to it being shared, and the women were everywhere. If you looked at the scores at all, different leader every round, and it was crazy, man. Taylor, I don't know anything about how any of it played out, but Taylor, who's that heptathlete from Oregon that throws 500 feet, she was a 3-stroke lead and was the only gal to shoot under par the first round. Second round, JK went off and went 4 down. And Sophia went 1 down, and Taylor struggled and fell out of the lead. JK was leading at this point. She was 4 down for the tournament. She shot even the first round. Third round, every single woman was over par. You can see JK and Taylor really struggled.
Yeah.
Emily and Sophia just battled it out and hung right there around the even mark, and there's another person with a new bag of discs, Emily Weatherman, getting up there for a top finish.
And I don't know if Sophia was sponsored last year or not, but I know she's also Innova sponsored.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was on Innova last year as well.
Okay. And so Emily right there in the mix, and that could have been a really cool one to have the couple with a win in the very first tournament on the Go Throw Tour. But regardless, she played well, but congratulations to the Canadian, Sophia Donachie.
Yeah. Both fields were relatively small and will be growing this weekend as they play the second stop on that tour. And I'm looking forward to watching that. I'm looking forward to watching this as well here in the States.
Ooh, the Memorial is here. And look who's in the field this year, Smitty. Usually this is just a bunch of Arizona guys with AB and Adam Hammis and people like that. I think Goose has played there in the past as well. But this year, the player of the year, the greatest player on the planet currently, Ganon Burr, we get to see him for the first time in 2025 play a tournament. How excited are you for that?
I am. It's going to be fun. The Iceman did play it last year as well.
Oh, he did?
Pretty
did he
sure.
win it?
I think Anthony won.
Yeah, I don't think he won it. Ooh, okay.
I listened to his reason for playing it on Staggered Stance, and he feels like if he comes out and shreds, Fountain Hills is known to give up high ratings. So if he can come out and shred and bust out maybe an 1100, maybe 1096, he thinks it'll push him over that 1060 mark if he plays well at the start of the season.
Okay, I like it. That's a good reasoning.
Yeah, but there's some dogs here, boy.
There are. So we didn't mention Eagle McMahon will be in attendance, and hopefully he can turn some things around. We also have Noah Meitzma, Parker Welk with his new DD bag. We have Ezwa Aderhold, and I think he plays that one usually because those are his friends. And Levi Hancock, who, hey, we've had him on Disc and Deals coverage. And then there's a few others there, but Eagle, let's talk him, Smitty. Are you pumped?
Yeah, man. I hope he's ready to play disc golf. I hope he's healthy. I think a healthy Eagle McMahon could really raise the excitement level for the Disc Golf Pro Tour moving forward. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if it's not Anthony, it's Eagle as the guy that can constantly and even maybe dethrone Ganon. But, I mean, we can't leave out Rick, who, notice, is not on the list in his own backyard.
Nope. No, but he's never really played this.
No, he doesn't play any off-season tournaments.
Yeah, that's just not his style. Who do you have winning that one, Smitty? If you're a betting man.
Ganon Burr on the table?
Yeah, he is.
I'm taking Ganon Burr every time.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was just, he didn't win last year, but this is definitely a different Ganon Burr now. There is a new confidence level in that kid. This next year is going to be crazy. I think we could, do you think, and I'm just going to ask you now, we're going to talk about this all year, but do you think Ganon, in maybe a year, maybe even this year, he continues playing extremely well? Do we see a Ken Climo effect to where this kid really separates himself from everyone? Do you see that happening?
He's not going to win 9 world titles in a row.
Do you think he comes anywhere do you think he gets double digits in his career?
World titles?
Yeah.
Double digits, 10 years from now. No, because I think there's probably another Ganon Burr walking around some park, bumming it right off his mom because he's only 12 years old.
Oh, I know. But man, oh man, I really think Ganon has more. And wouldn't it be amazing to see, a reemergence of the champ in the younger generation? Whew.
We already saw it. We already saw as close as we're going to get.
Who?
The
With Paul?
Beast.
With Paul? I don't know. I think Ganon is... Oh, man. Let's see what happens. But I'm saying, I'm projected Ganon to the moon.
I think there's just too many dogs in the field, dude. I mean...
I don't think we've seen the dog and Ganon yet, though.
Look at Isaac. He didn't win jack squat all year, then he won Worlds.
Yeah, he's really good at that tournament.
Yeah. Well, because it's so long. I don't think anybody can ever do a run even remotely what the champ did.
Okay, let's say the next 20 years, just for fun. I don't know why I'm being all speculative today, and I just want your opinion, though. And it may not be Ganon, but just any player. How many in the next 20 years do we see in a row? Do you think we see 3 in a row from someone?
Only if Isaac wins this year.
Okay. And if it doesn't happen this year, you don't see it in the next 20?
I think that would be an amazing feat. And I would have never guessed Isaac was going to win 2 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean, it's hard telling. I think we could see a string of several over 10 years. And by several, I mean 3 or 4, maybe 5. But, I mean, Ganon...
But not
Ganon
back to back.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough.
All right.
Everything's got to line up for the entire week for that to happen. And
all right, that's fair. All right, sorry. I got off track here. But, man, I don't know why. With the new season, I just, there's new expectations. I get excited, and I think Ganon's just never going to lose again. All right. So here we go. We have the second tournament of the Go Throw Tour, and this is in, don't even want to say it. How do you say it, Smitty?
Tapu.
Okay. And where's this at? Do you know?
Also in New Zealand.
Also in New Zealand. And so we are adding a few people to the mix here. It looks like KJ USA going to be there. Big Germ coming.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. So wonder what he's throwing because he hasn't made an announcement. Also, Tall Paul Oman. And then mostly everyone else that was there at the last one. So Big Germ, I am excited to see what he can do in this next one.
He'll be throwing Climo discs.
Oh, is that your prediction? You think he's on Climo's team?
I'd like to see it.
Ooh, that's a bold prediction. I like it, though. I like it. Well, I'm excited to hear Luke and Nate on coverage again. Man, those two can geek out with some nature, can't they?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Did you watch it?
Oh, I watched all of it.
Did you hear him going off about complaining about Braden putting over-the-ear headphones on.
Over the ears. They hated it. They were very nice about it, but you could tell they did not like it.
They thought it looked unprofessional.
Very unprofessional. What did you think?
I don't give a damn what the kid wears.
Yeah, but I will say that over the head ones, the smaller ones are fine, but the big ones just look a little funky.
It's not my cup of tea. It's not what I'm going to do playing disc golf. I don't think I would have called it unprofessional. I can think of lots of things that are unprofessional. I don't think Luke looks super professional walking around in his skateboard shoes at tournaments. I think that looks unprofessional. I'll just leave it at that. I think that the kid did it one putt and took it off.
Yeah.
So who knows what was going on?
Yeah, I don't know either, but I wouldn't say it was unprofessional. I will say it looked weird, though. Like it would be uncomfortable to play in is what I mean. Like I couldn't imagine doing that. But hey, if it works for you, do it. It's in the rules. You can do it. Now, speaking of some things that Luke said during everything, before we jump into Will Shoestrick, he did say that Prodigy was about to sign a quote-unquote big name. We got a good one coming. And so I wonder, Smitty, if we could start a little bit of speculation here after you made some comments and have called some things to be true in the past. Maybe you can get this one. Who do you think Prodigy signs here that is the big name?
I don't know who the big names are that are still out there. Big Germ, that's a big name, but he's not going to Prodigy. Maybe the Carries, AJ and Deanne.
That's not a... He said...
That's not a big name, but...
Yeah. Is there anyone else?
I can't think of anybody, honestly.
Do you think there's any... I know we're going to talk about this later in the show, but is there any chance that Ricky Wysocki leaves DD and goes to Prodigy?
Zero,
you think? What if that's the one? Wouldn't that be insane? Could he be the one that pulls them from the weeds, though? Could he be the savior of Prodigy if it is him?
Well, the thing that you continually hear on every podcast that you listen to, the thing that's getting played out is Rick doesn't move Frisbees.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about right here with Will. On Tour Life with Brody and Hewley, Will said something to the effect of players that are sponsored should be out there promoting their discs, and that just doesn't happen. And so players are less valuable than they used to be. Do you agree with Will? Do you think they should not have sponsored players or not make as much as they do?
I think it depends who you're talking about. Do I think Paul Macbeth was worth every penny that Discraft gave him? Yeah, he changed Discraft from being the brand that people didn't want to throw to look what they have now. Every big dog on the park is on their dang team.
And that was because of Paul. You're right.
I also think that a lot of players value themselves way more than what they're worth. So I understand Will's perspective on that as well. I think if I owned a disc golf company, a big disc golf company, I mean, I have 5 dudes on my team, and we'll come back to that. But if I was going to sponsor somebody, I think I could get more value out of Bodanza or Broderick. One of those guys goes out and does disc reviews and, fun videos and things like that are just really driving viewership. There's a lot of people watching those Bodanza videos. Yeah. So I like them. I watch most of them. Yeah, I think you get more value out of that than some dude that's on the team but never on coverage. And then Will's big thing was, I think it was Will, but when somebody wins a tournament, they say, well, I couldn't have done it without these discs. Thank you for this, that, and the other. And that's the full spectrum, I guess, of their gratitude towards the company and the disc. Yeah. And some of those crack me up, man. I remember Eric Oakley used to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about the Felon. As soon as he went open bag, does Felon in his bag? No. Was it that good? Apparently not. It was obviously very easily replaced, or maybe he was just bitter. I don't know. So, I think that if I wasn't sponsored by Dynamic Discs, I think my bag would pretty much stay the same. I like every disc in there, and I wouldn't throw them if I didn't like them. Now, do I think I could maybe get some play out of a destroyer combination over carrying 2 molds? Because I just struggle flicking the Ballista Pro, and I can flick the Raider really well because of the lip. But do I think I could maybe replace 2 with something like the destroyer? Probably so. Or could I just work a little harder and get rid of the Raider and just do the Ballista Pro, or vice versa? I could backhand the Raider. I don't like the big lip that it feels like it has the wing. So yeah. Companies are getting their bang for their buck. I'd say probably not.
Yeah, I'd say there's select few, right, that really do a good job of promoting discs and selling discs. And with people saying that Ricky is not one of them, I don't think there's anyone better in my mind that promotes discs than Ricky. He's always talking about discs. He's always got stuff going on. So he's someone that I truly feel, if he is Prodigy, and I give it, this is a long shot, but if it is, he is someone that would definitely push discs better than most people. Is there anyone in particular besides who you mentioned, like the disc review guys, but a professional player who does a good job of promoting discs? I think Ganon does now with Discmania, but he didn't do it with Prodigy. Is there anyone that off the top of your head you can think of?
You mentioned Rick, and last year the whole preview of the course thing was new to Rick. And I feel like that's when he did most of his promotions, was on those. You watch
I bought a General because of that.
Yeah, General's great Frisbee, actually.
Yeah.
Ezra and Goose do their course reviews, but they're more bitching and complaining about the course than
it's
attacking and promoting.
I've stopped watching those.
Paul and AB are a blast to watch when they're doing their Luna challenges. Those things amaze me, the way those two tear it up at that. I don't know that I've never seen Ganon really promote a disc.
Well, he's like on Instagram doing stuff all the time, like just saying, hey, go here. I think he does a lot with Titan as well, Titan disc shop. So I think that helps too. But I think he does a good job now. And I think Alden is trying. So I think they're attempting more. But Rick is the guy. And there's not a lot of others that do it. And it needs to happen. And I've said this in the past. And I think Discmania made this change to where they can't throw any old Innova anymore. They have to throw stuff that's Discmania made. And I wish more people would do, hey, you have to throw what's currently available. I think that helps promote sales. I think there is a lot of truth into what Will says. And I think there's a certain select few that definitely deserve the sponsorship money. But there's a lot, like you mentioned, that really overvalue how much they mean to a company.
Yeah, I think you could get rid of Ezra Aderholt, and Discraft wouldn't even see a blip.
Exactly. Adam Hammonds. Same way.
Both fantastic players, but I don't think people are buying the disc because of those guys.
Nope, not at all.
You look at the entire Innova team except for Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to buy that Firebird regardless if Nate's name's on it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is one disc that does sell because.
But I don't know
because it's always awesome. It's the plastic combination.
Exactly, it's the disc.
And the mold itself is fantastic. Yeah, interesting. Well, I was going to say about my squad. I've got 5 dudes that I sponsor and try to help. They're all good disc golfers. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think having one of those 5 on my team has ever led to a disc sale. I've never had somebody say, oh man, I'm glad you're sponsoring Ronnie. Let me get an Undertaker because I know he throws it all the time. But I'm also not spending thousands of dollars on Ronnie. And my return on investment in Ronnie is when I ran the Brook tournament, Ronnie came out there both days and helped me set up all the tents, put the water out, went home the day he wasn't playing, and then came back and helped clean it up. That's irreplaceable to me. Chase, I can tell Chase, hey, dude, I'm going to Manhattan. You want to come along? I need you to help me do the trip. He's going to come.
Yep.
So that's irreplaceable to me. Craig will take over the Ace Fund at tournaments. Craig will pull up the signs when it's done. He's played 5 gazillion courses, which is really cool. But has that ever led to somebody buying a Frisbee from me? I've never made a Craig has played a gazillion courses, but I don't want to sell 3 of them, 2 to him and 1 to his mom. So I'm not making that. So, my only hope would be, I guess, the Davenport kids, if one of them goes off at some point. But let's be honest, by the time one of them goes off and wins the Pro Worlds, I'm going to be done.
Yeah, they're going to see. You think they'll be saying adios to highs and nuts by that time?
Well, why wouldn't they? They can win Pro Worlds.
Well, just to say, I mean, I don't know. I think there's something to say about loyalty to and the people that helped you get started. But that's neither here nor there.
That's you and me. That's not the rest of them. That's not the way. That's not the way sponsorship works. Sometimes I can be loyal to a fault, and that's something different. Let's go on.
Okay. All right. But yes, very interesting to think about. Should players be sponsored? Let us know in the comments what you think about this topic. And do you agree with Will? Is he half right? Let us know. All right,
Speaking
Smitty.
of players being sponsored, finally time.
You got it, Smitty. You called this a long time ago. Isaac Robinson, we called this about a month ago. We said Isaac was going latitude 64, and we're not always right, but by golly, we were this time. Latitude 64 and Isaac have come to an agreement. 3 years, and I'm pumped for him.
Yeah, it sounds. I listened to him on the Upshot podcast, and he said he was going to ask for around $200,000 a year at a minimum. And in that interview, he said they exceeded his expectations.
Yeah,
pretty healthy. He's a bad dude. I don't know that he's super marketable.
What makes him not marketable?
He's not flashy.
Yeah. Is he too clean cut? Like he's not edgy enough? Do you think that hurts him a little bit?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy watching him play. I love the no nonsense putt. Just walk up there and bang it in from wherever.
I love it.
But
he's one of my favorites. I will say this though, Smitty. His online persona, the way he's a troll and is fun on the internet, that makes me love that dude even more though.
Yeah.
So I think he does a good job of marketing himself that way. And he doesn't do it as like a jerk. He does it in a very fun, like it's really funny. But yes, do they get a return on the investment in this, Smitty? Does Latitude 64 recoup their funds? $200,000 plus a year.
With I'm sure incentive bonuses and disc royalties and things like that, I'm assuming as well.
Yeah. Do they make that money back? Do they make money at all off that deal?
No, man. That's a lot of dang Frisbees, isn't it?
Yeah. When these companies are offering these type of deals, it just lets me know that maybe they are selling more discs than I imagined, right? Because there's no way they give this amount of money if they don't have a tremendous amount of money that they're making, right? Yeah. That's not a deal that you're giving if you're only making $1 million a year, right? You're making a lot of money to give one single player that much money. And speaking of things that we called, Smitty, not only did you call Isaac to Latitude 64, you called his freaking disc. You called the Rive. You knew it. So
yes, got lucky.
I will say with this one, I did not buy it like I bought Ezra's. I liked the price on Ezra's more than I liked the price on Isaac's.
They were going sucker's over $30.
No, it was 28 a pop.
Before
shipping. Before shipping, fair enough.
Well, how much shipped? Probably over 30 because I don't think free shipping kicks in till $75 now.
Yep. But yeah, his disc, I wasn't that impressed with it though, as far as the way that it looked. I'm like, that just looked like his world champion disc. Like it was just his logo and some gold. I mean, the black disc was really cool, but I'm not buying that. I'm going to lose it immediately if I throw it.
Kind of makes me wonder if the disc wasn't already made, and then we just throw his stamp on there to.
Yeah. So not a new run of discs. I wonder if that is going to include a line of discs. It didn't mention anything in his announcement.
Yeah, I didn't read anything about that.
Yeah. So, but regardless, super pumped for Isaac that he is now the MPO face of Latitude 64. And then, of course, it's going to be tough to dethrone Kristen LAT, as she is now called. As she is definitely, when you think Latitude 64, it's definitely her.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited to see what he does on his first tournament out.
Oh, I'm so excited, bro. I'm telling you, there's two sponsors that are like my go-to, and that's Innova and it's Latitude 64. So I am pumped to see this dude throwing that plastic. And I just want to see what he's probably going to put with that peak that you called. Can't wait to see if that comes to fruition. But man, there's no one in the game that I love watching putt more than I love watching Isaac. The way that it's just so nonchalant and effortless, it's beautiful, man.
Yep, that's true. It is a thing of beauty. Speaking of beauties,
a
couple of ladies announced their sponsorship movement.
Okay, I thought we were going a whole different direction. I thought with trash, I thought you were making a really bad joke, but okay. You really meant beauties. Okay. I apologize, ladies. So yes, congratulations. Congratulations to Maria Oliva and
Maria Olive my bago at homo. Moved from Thought Space to Trash Panda.
Yep, and had the worst year last year. Not good.
No.
Not even close to good.
I don't know if Trash Panda has a disc that's going to help her do better than what she was already working with at Thought Space.
They have a good putter. They have the inner core. It's a sweet disc if you've never thrown one. You can't, though. So,
well, I can throw whatever I want. I just can't throw it at a tournament or promote it. I can try it out. If you have one, I'd love to try it out.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And then Eric Inscombe.
This is one that I don't understand.
Well, I will say she was sponsored by them last year and was the very first player to be sponsored by Trash Panda. So there might be some loyalty there.
And she just re-upped again this year. But I mean, yeah. I've never seen her play on any lead card ever, on any coverage.
I think there was one tournament last year where she was around somewhere in the tournament. Like she may have been on a lead card like for one of the rounds, but not at the first and not at the last. So she played her way on one card, I think, all of last year. Now, I'm assuming, Smitty, that these are not big deals. Which
yeah. They're probably more along the lines of what I get, probably better than what I get, probably along the lines of what my dudes on my team get, a few discs and some stuff like that. That's what all sponsorships used to be. You'd get so many discs a year. That's what mine still is.
Yeah, and some apparel. Do you get apparel too? A little apparel?
If you want it.
Yeah. I'd be rocking the apparel. I have so many discs. I like stuff to wear.
Yeah, sometimes it's your style, sometimes it's not. That's the problem with it, is it's always somebody else's design or somebody else's what they like. So
yeah, that's fair.
Another latest sponsorship announcement. DGA's bringing her back. 2-time world champ, Katrina Allen.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, I would say her stock has gone down a little bit. I don't think she's pushing any discs out for DGA, though.
Probably not. She's kind of like Paige, though. She had her moment that she was, bad mamba jamba.
Oh, she was.
And if she goes to just local events and some smaller PDJ, A tiers, whatnot, she can dominate those women, no problem.
Without question.
But she's going to have a heck of a time competing with the big dogs. I mean, she was having a hard time before she had her baby last year.
Yeah, that was my question. We saw Paige Shue kind of stop touring as much once she had her baby. Do you think we see less of Katrina this year?
I don't know that you'll see a full tour schedule out of her, but there's one major difference between this situation and Paige's situation. In Paige's situation, Grady Shue is also a fantastic disc golfer. In this situation, Austin Hannum, though better than most of us, is not going to be anything on the tour.
Oh, so you think Austin stops touring?
Yeah, that would make sense to me.
Or does he go with her, stay on tour with her?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Rolling around in an RV or whatever. And
just doing dad duty?
Yeah, but I can tell you, I doubt there's going to be a chick in the entire division that's going to outwork her.
That's true. I mean, seen...
When we see her, she's going to be in shape, ready to go.
I've never seen that woman not in shape.
Yeah.
And she takes her eating very seriously, too.
Like carnivore diet, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see her come back. It'll give me some opportunity to catch a few more party subs.
Yep. Yeah, she's good for those. Every once in a while.
Another lady making an announcement.
Look at the ladies go. This was a big one. This was Lisa Fakis, who was Lone Star, is now Team Millennium. That's kind of fun. Now, but in the past, before Lone Star, Lisa was Innova. So I think with Millennium, you're allowed to throw some Innova discs as well. So she's just going back home, baby.
Yes, so. And she actually had a pretty decent career when she was on Innova. I mean, at Worlds, when it was in Utah, she was in the mix.
Yep.
And at Throw Pink one year, I think she was in the mix, her and Kona.
Yeah, I mean, she's a really good putter, right? That's her strong suit. That's where she wins. But man, some of those long courses, she just doesn't have a chance.
And ladies disc golf has changed a ton since she was a name you could expect to see at the top.
Yeah, she's a good putter. She has chances to win, but it can't be a long course. But I'm excited for her. Yeah. She can get her putter back.
Well, probably the same thing she threw before, whatever that was.
Exactly. And I'm saying putters are a very, very personal thing.
This is true. I found mine today in my backpack from Putting League. When I showed up out there at the food drive Saturday, I got out of my truck and I'm like, where are all of my putters? They were in my backpack at school.
Yeah, so you didn't even have them this weekend?
No.
After you won the food drive, won flights, you did it with putters you don't even putt with?
That old crappy blue one that I throw on turnover shots, and then a yellow one that I like throw around water.
You used that and you still killed everyone? Oh man. Insult to injury. This guy. You want to talk about that snow you trudged through this weekend?
No, I'm trying to erase that memory from my mind.
Let's talk about Kona Montgomery out at DD. Now, keep in mind the source here. This is Disc Golf Dumpster Fire, so I don't know how real this is, but I could definitely see it happening. We already know from the AMA that we talked about that there was not a return on investment on her contract, or at least not while that gentleman was there. So, do you see this being real, Smitty?
I don't think she wants to go anywhere.
Well, absolutely not.
I don't think she has any other options anywhere else out there. Right? She parlayed a great win at Waco and a win at the All-Star tournament into a big contract and hasn't done anything since. She did get sick, she battled that.
The thyroid, yeah.
Man, I don't know if she's leaving or not. Whatever she does, I hope she does what's best for her. But I'm not going to speculate on whether she's leaving or not. I really don't care if she leaves or not.
All right, that's fair. I will say this. When Kona got her contract, she was all in. Like, she was, even before she started with DD, she had such a fantastic social media presence. Like, she always posting, always pushing things out. Since coming to DD, it started really well while she was posting and posting. But I think her lackluster play, her getting sick, has kind of washed away some of the passion that she had. And you don't see her posting anymore. And I wonder if she might not be fulfilling some type of obligation with the company.
And I read on one of these threads, so once again, take it for what it's worth, that she had a huge Instagram following, but she quite possibly purchased that.
Oh.
You can purchase bots to follow your account or whatever. And that her numbers, social media wise, haven't really went up even since she joined the team.
Okay.
So, and I'll tell you, man, she is the queen of getting on there and being vulnerable and letting her emotions out on the camera. Some people, that's their thing. That's what helps them get through a tough situation, right? Me, I'm the opposite. If I'm going to be upset and cry, I'm going to get away from everybody and, just work it out that way. But those things turn me off watching those.
I was going to ask, as a guy, like a non-vulnerable man that you all are, you're just like, no, I don't want to hear this. It's not the place for it. Social media is not the place for it. While some people are probably thinking, oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, look how open she is. But I mean, I want her disc. She's my favorite player now. And there's people like that. There are people that's probably happened to, but I'm somewhere in the middle. I think there's oversharing, and I think there is sometimes you can share some things, but when you're doing it that much and that often, it just comes across as more woe is me. It looks like you're looking for sympathy.
Yeah, I don't like it. I as soon as it starts going that way, if I happen to look, I usually, if I'm scrolling and I see somebody's live, I'll go look and see what's going on. But if it's one of those, I'm out. Like, I did the same thing with Oakley when he got all emotional talking about disc sales a couple months ago. I saw a little bit of it. I said, I'm out. That's just not me. But to them, if it helps them cope and makes them feel better, do whatever works for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about,
but I'm not going to watch it.
Me and Smitty are thinking about coming out with a very emotional video where Smitty talks about his struggles with the disc golf game.
It's going to be a long one.
Let's get into some speculation, Smitty. There is a ton of speculation around this guy right here, Ricky Wysocki. We alluded to it a little bit earlier in the episode. He could be leaving Dynamic Disc. There's a couple of things that have happened in the past week that even make that possibility even higher. Tell us what happened, Smitty.
Well, apparently he changed the name of his store, took Dynamic Disc out of that. Mm-hmm. Supposedly he doesn't have Dynamic Disc tagged in any of his socials. I don't know if that's true or not. And just lots of stuff. And every single podcast that you try to watch or listen to, they're talking about House of Disc is going down, DD's going bankrupt, this, that, and the other. And it always goes back to this ask me anything. That people are treating that stuff like that's DD's financial report.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know where they're at. Like I said before, I don't know how bad they are, how well they're doing. I know that it's probably a struggle. And when you're giving some dude $1 million, we just talked about 200,000.
Yeah.
We're talking $1 million, dude.
$1 million.
And if they can't afford Rick and they wanted to cut his contract by whatever percent, I've heard 40%, 50% numbers like that. If I was Rick, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah. Tell me this, Smitty. To make matters worse, Rick posts on social media about the Ohio State game, and in the background, there's a disc right here. Now, Ricky has said nothing about this. This particular disc, if you look it up, is a Discraft Z-Glow Flex Swarm. That's the exact stamp. That's the exact disc. Now, we both know, Smitty, he is great friends with a number of Discraft people, including Adam Hammis, Ezra, AB, right? They all live in that same area. Even Drew is there, right? So was that one of their discs? And then today he posts, hey, getting in some reps, and all you see is dynamic discs there. Is that Ricky saying, without saying, like, quit, y'all, that wasn't my disc, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to just get back to work? What do you think?
I don't know.
Or is he doing some Robinson brother type situation where he's just toying with our emotions?
Yeah. I have no idea. And once again, I don't know what Rick's doing. If they did cut his contract and if he still was getting incentives on disc sales and play, what is he going to sign for that much money to make up the difference? You know what I mean? Is anybody going to give Ricky $1 million?
Yeah.
You think somebody will? Bull crap.
What if Prodigy did? He's the savior they're looking for. I swear, if Ricky goes Prodigy, I'm calling it right now that there is a 2% chance that he goes to Prodigy. That's how much I'm going to guarantee this. 2%.
Is there a bigger chance that he goes to Prodigy or he stays with DD?
How about this? Smitty? What if DD, House of Discs, buys out their own contract and he becomes the first House of Discs sponsored player that can throw any of them in the lineup?
Then we'd find out how good the general really is, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would. The felon situation, huh? Yeah. Do you think there's any possibility of that?
I don't know what good that would do Rick.
It would help everyone, I think. It might make Rick be able to keep more of his contract, and it might help them generate more sales by him throwing new discs.
Yeah, I just think the money's all the same money. Just with a different name.
It's definitely cannibalization, right? They're taking from their own, but in my mind, it's just restructuring, right? It's restructuring to help everyone. And if they really are in a financial situation, that could be an answer.
Do they want to open that can of worms, though? Because then every Tom, Dick, and Smitty out there is going to be like, I want to throw the bird.
Is that it? Would you?
I've never thrown one. They look fun.
Yeah.
No, dude, I like the Suspect.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Basically, almost the same shot, I think. Suspect and putter, I think I'm just fine.
All right. Fair enough. But yes, it's fun to speculate, and I really, really want to know. It's going to end up being nothing. It's a nothing burger, and Ricky's going to stay with Dynamic, and we're making a big deal out of nothing. But that's what we do here.
I hope he stays with Dynamic.
Yeah.
I really do.
Because if he's your teammate, like, get lunch together or something.
Are there really teams in disc golf?
I like to think me and my sponsored players are tight, and you and your sponsored players are tight. Aren't we a team? But you're saying once it gets bigger, then 5 people becomes a little bit different for sure.
Yeah. Do Brody, is he rooting for Paul Macbeth?
Speaking of Brody, let's do some speculation with that dude. Is he gone? Did you see him recently play with Foundation? He's garbage. I mean, so bad, Smitty. He couldn't throw a forehand to save his life. He looked like me out there.
Well, you talk about a guy that moves discs. That guy moves frisbees.
Yeah, okay. So going back to the first, you're right. That's someone that really, really did a good job. Now he's only moving playing cards. It seems like I don't know. It's not the same for him though.
Breaking cards, yeah.
Breaking cards.
I think he's on Discraft still, just on a different level of team. He's not on their touring team, and I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, he's not gonna win a Pro Tour event.
No. All right. One more thing to talk about, Smitty.
Yeah, man. I was just trying to see when it's going live.
It's going to go live tomorrow on the 15th. It's going to go live.
Do you know the time?
I don't know when exactly, but if you have not seen the Legacy Continues video from Ken Climo, it is such a good introduction into Ken Climo for those of you that may not know who Ken Climo is. It is beautifully done, and his ears are on full display. But so is his amazing disc golf game. This dude dominated the sport like no one else ever has and probably never will. And now everyone was thinking, my first thought was Ken Climo is going to announce, hey, I'm going to be team captain of Discraft's Icon team. But now he launches this, and then you see this little thing that says Climo Disc Golf. And I'm wondering, Smitty, is this the right move for Ken?
From what I've researched, we'll call it that, watched a few podcasts, Drew, who seems to always be in the know as to what's going on.
He's got sources.
Yeah. He likes spilling the beans. But according to him, Climo discs are their own line of disc manufactured by Discraft. So kind of like DGA just for Ken Climo. The right move for him? Probably. What was he getting at Innova at this point in his career? So if it brings him back into disc golf and gets him visible to people who play disc golf and don't know who Ken Climo is, then I think it's great.
But the question is, really, do we need more discs? Are people going to buy his discs? I mean, what I want to think about are the people consuming discs now, the ones that are. It's hard. It's hard not to do sometimes. All right, the people consuming discs. Hey, are they the older generation? No, they throw what they throw. They're happy with something baseline. It's the younger generation that buys the stuff and they don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go over. I'm sure that if the right people get their hands on his discs, then it might go well for Ken Climo.
I'm sure he would like that.
Yeah, who wouldn't want people's like hands on your discs?
Yeah, anytime people handle his discs, he's going to love it. All right, well, we're getting a little off track here. Excuse us. We're done, Smitty. I think that was our last topic. So, man, what a good episode. Action-packed. And we got shout-outs for the week. What you got, man?
The people that were brave enough to come stomp through 8 inches of snow to play the food drive deserve more than 10 KDJ points. They deserve 20. Ronnie and I nearly walked that course 3 times, man. Going up to watch where our buddy's disc entered the snow because you couldn't find him. That disc would hit, and we only had good snow on the first hole. Then it was all tracked up. Yep. And we had Jib throw a disc into the snow, and we searched for 5 minutes trying to find the dang thing. she only threw it 150 feet, and it was the only cut in the entire snow, and we couldn't find it. That thing slid underneath there and went so far in there. So, and you obviously for basically doing all the behind the scenes work that made the event go off without a hitch. So, and we learned some stuff this weekend too. We had some people bring some things to our attention about the way we've done the two that we've done that we've been involved with, that maybe we'll switch
Change
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I felt like that's a valid point. But yeah, that was fun time.
Yeah. It was really cool. I think there was a little over $1,000 raised for the homeless veterans, and I think that's really, really awesome. And so we've been involved now with 2 different food drives already this year, and it's food drive season. So we're going to start having more food drives in surrounding areas come up. So if you're in an area that's got a food drive, or if you have to travel a little bit to one of the food drives, it's always for a good cause. Please hit one of those up. But want to thank everyone that came out, just like Smitty did, because I was inside. I'd been sick all week, the week before, and I wasn't going to try to play. But there was a lot of chili, and want to give a shout out to the winner of the chili cook-off, who was afraid to bring chili when Smitty brought his chili. But Jose Rodriguez brought his chili, and he took it down at this food drive when Smitty did not bring his chili. And the first thing that Smitty said when he saw Jose toting in the chili was, "You were scared, weren't you? You were scared."
Probably was.
Yeah.
He knew I was going to bring the heat this year. All you got to do is throw a few jalapenos in there and get it on fire, and you're likely to win.
I will say, he did not get my vote, though. Chili number 2, Jeff McClellan's. Whew, it was money.
I think next year we do cups instead of bowls. That way you have to go try all of them.
Yeah, I think that there's not everyone tries them all. They like try one and they're like, okay, this is the one I tried, and that's actually what I did with yours. That's what you got my vote at the other one, and I didn't know it was yours.
All right, it was the best one.
It was hot, dude. It was super hot. It hurt me. But all right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching episode number 43 in the books. We'll see you on the next one. See you next Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye now.